Greetings to the real women of Philadelphia. My name is Nicole and I'm so excited to be here to share with you my recipe for the Real Women of Philadelphia contest. Today we're going to be doing Grilly Philly sirloin with a kick. Now I'm really excited about this recipe for a few reasons. I get a lot of inspiration just in general because I love to eat food, but when I was growing up, I had a mom who worked and she was the one who cooked most of the meals. So when she came home from work, I'd often get a chance to be able to help her put something together, and there were a couple of things that were really important. One of them was that there were not too many ingredients, so it wasn't too cumbersome. She also wanted to make sure it was very quality, and she wanted to make sure that, of course, it was delicious and that everyone in the family would enjoy it. So today, I take inspiration from my mom for this recipe to make it something that's healthy and delicious, but also has a little bit something extra, and that comes from the Philadelphia cream cheese. So what I'm making today is going to be a grilled sirloin that's going to have a few herbs on it that we're going to put on the grill, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it up, and what's really going to be the showstopper is the amazing Philadelphia cream cheese sauce. So the kick that's involved is a little bit of horseradish that we're going to put together, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. But let's have just a quick look at the ingredients. I've got here some fresh parsley, of course our Philadelphia cream cheese. Here's a little bit of the horseradish, and I'll show you again a little bit later how we put that together. We've got some fresh herbs, some garlic. We also have the parsley that's been pre-chopped, some pepper, salt, and a little bit of olive oil. So as you can see, not too much going on here to get us started. So let's begin. In order to have the flavor really get through to the meat, I've decided to score the meat. And now scoring is quite easy. I've done the other side already, just for the purpose of time. But what you're going to do is you're going to do some horizontal and vertical lines that you cut into the meat. You don't have to be an expert to do this. You just do it like so, and that puts your meat in a place where those herbs are going to get in there and give it lots of flavor. I'm going to start with putting a little bit of salt on it. I'm going to do both sides. And we're also going to do a little bit of freshly ground pepper. And for a little bit of extra flavor, I've decided to do a little bit of garlic powder. So we're going to put that over top. Now, I'm not sure how much you like garlic, but I certainly think it's delicious. And I find that most people these days are really enjoying a lot of flavor. So I say if you like the flavor, then go for it. We're going to do just a little drizzle of olive oil. And there's two things that will happen with this. One is it's going to help get those flavors right into the steak. But the other thing it's going to do is it's going to help it from sticking to the grill. So rub that in. So our sirloin is ready to go, and so now I'm going to go grill it up, and while it's grilling, I'm going to get to the sauce. Okay, our meat is fresh off the grill. I put this on the grill, a hot heat, seared it for 2 minutes aside, and then let it cook for another few minutes to get it to what I hope will be a nice medium rare. We will soon find out. What we're going to do is let the meat sit and rest while we make our delicious sauce, which really is the star of the show. So here we are over at the stovetop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by turning on our element to a low heat. We're not trying to cook anything here, we just want to meld together these fantastic ingredients that are going to go over our sirloin, and again, the star of our show being the Philadelphia cream cheese. Definitely very important to use really good quality ingredients when you're making food. I had mentioned before about my mom, and she made very simple meals, but they were good quality. And whenever she had a recipe that called for something with cream cheese, she always used Philadelphia cream cheese. And she had told me that better than the generic brands, that she actually found that it was creamier, it tasted better, and it stood up better in recipes. So it is important that we look at the quality of what we're making, and I'm passionate about that as well. So we've got this on a low heat, and I'm actually going to start, our first ingredient in our sauce is just a little bit of cream. Now I'm using a little bit of my coffee cream. You can use heavy cream if you've got it in the fridge. You could even use a little bit of milk, but it just gives a little something for the cream cheese to melt down in. Now this is about 3/4 of a cup of the Philadelphia light cream cheese. So we're going to just put that into the saucepan. I'm going to make sure we don't miss any of it because it's so delicious. And I'm just going to take my little whisk and I'm going to just sort of move it around so that it can melt down. And it'll, because it's on a low heat, you know, there's no rush here. All we're trying to do is just slowly get it down to a creamy consistency so that we'll be able to ladle it over our fantastic savory meat. So the inspiration for this sauce, I certainly love my meat and my steak, like many people do. And I think that cream cheese isn't one of those things that you often think that you would pair with steak. So what I was thinking of was the fact that when you have something creamy, it's often really fantastic if there's something that's a little bit spicy to go along with it. So I had the idea of using a little bit of horseradish, and horseradish, of course, is a classic pairing with meat. So I thought, what better than to put together a sauce with cream cheese from Philadelphia, as well as a little bit of horseradish with some kick to put over our sirloin. So what I've done, and I'm just going to let this sit for a few minutes, is I decided to start a new adventure. And instead of using prepared horseradish, which you could use in this recipe, I decided to use fresh horseradish. So I went out to the supermarket and I was able to pick up some horseradish root. So it looks like this when it's peeled, and the skin on it is very similar to a potato. And all I did was peel it and make sure there weren't any blemishes, and I took my microplane grater and I grated it down. So we've got about 4 tablespoons of the horseradish here, and it's really wonderful because it's fresh. You know, when I was grating it down, you could really, you know, smell it. It's almost a little bit, you know, heavy in the sense that, you know, you can really get that tang and that excitement from what this is going to be like with the cream. So we're slowly melting down. It does take just a little while. So our delicious Philadelphia cream cheese has melted down. Boy, that looks fantastic. It almost looks like icing in that little pan. So what we're going to do now is add our other ingredients. I've got here about 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Add a little bit of flavor. Nice little partner always to cream cheese for lots of recipes. We've also got, we'll just mix that in. We've also got our horseradish here, so again about 4 tablespoons of grated horseradish. And again, if you love it, add more. If you're worried about how spicy it's going to be, maybe hold back just a little bit. We'll stir that in. A nice little dash of salt. And I'm going to use a little bit of fresh pepper here. Another one of my favorite things, lots of delicious fresh pepper to season things. Now the other little ingredient that we're going to add is just a little bit, about a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. Really helps to enhance the flavor and really bring out that delicious creaminess of the cream cheese and the horseradish all together to be smooth, velvety, but also have a wonderful tangy flavor that's just going to be fantastic with that sirloin. Yeah, I love to have people over and I love to cook at home. So this is definitely going to be on the roster for the next meal. So our sauce is ready to go. And here we have our sirloin. I'm just going to slice this up to nice thin little slices. That nice meat just looks fantastic. From here, what I want to do is just put that on our platter. You can see that beautiful meat. It looks wonderful. It smells delicious too. Now we've got our sauce here. What I'm going to do is take our spoon, just drizzle it over top. Actually, it's more of a drizzle. I love sauce. I'm known for that among my friends, so I say why not add a little bit more. We've got this put together here. We're going to just put on some of that fresh parsley that I showed you earlier to add a little bit of freshness and also make it a little bit more presentable. Here we have a fantastic Grilly Philly sirloin with a kick using Philadelphia cream cheese. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and I can't wait to dig in. Good luck to everyone, and thank you very much.